If you enjoy my show and you want to go deeper into conversation, head over to the kingdompatriots.com. That's where I post updates, articles, and uncensored takes on what's really happening in this country. It is also where you can go grab your official Kingdom Patriots gear, hats, shirts, hoodies, and t-shirts that make a statement without saying a word. That is the kingdompatriots.com. You know, when I started to do this show for the first time in over a year, I had my notes lined up. I had the slides that I wanted to use. I had the audio and the videos I wanted to play. I was going to react to a few things here and there, give a few insightful observations that I've seen. And then when I got to do the show and started to record the show, it wasn't flowing properly, and I couldn't figure out why. So I just decided to get rid of the notes and just start to talk from the heart here. And this is probably appropriate for the first show in over a year because a lot has changed. A lot of weird things are happening. Not the normal liberal lunatic stuff that's always happening, but we're talking about stuff that's going on in the MAGA movement. We're talking about people that used to support Trump, turning into Trump's biggest criticizers. I never thought I'd see a day where there will be memes and mockery and sarcasm from MAGA people who support the MAGA agenda going after our president. I didn't think I would see that day, especially not after, 8 to 9 months or to 10 months of his second administration. I was surprised to see that Cash Patel, once beloved, and he was an enigmatic person, and everyone just liked what he was doing on social media. It's kind of strange to see him being thrown under the bus. Pam Bondi, I have my concerns with. I'm not too surprised about people not liking her too much, but it's still a shock to see the magnitude of hatred and, if I may, turncoatness from people who used to love Trump that are now criticizing him. And I don't mean just calling him out on his mistakes and his flaws, but straight up calling him a terrorist, a traitor, accusing him of treason. Candace Owens did that. Candace Owens went on Carlson's show on his podcast, and they had a discussion about that. And both of them, I'm gonna give you the short version, agreed that Trump had betrayed America to support Israel. I don't understand that one at all. He's supporting Bibi. He's supporting Bibi, the Jewish people are killing the Palestinians. The Palestinians are killing the Jewish people. What are you talking about? It's happening on both sides. There is happening on both sides. There's so much of that going on. And then Candace Owens comes on the on her channels, and she blew up using MAGA, and now she's throwing MAGA under the bus. She's embarrassed that she voted for him. She is. I have a video that I was going to share with you guys, but this episode I'm not going to do any visuals or any other shares other than me speaking from the heart, because I think that you have to hear from me for a minute, because you already seen everything. I'm responding to it now. But in her video, she flat out, literally, I'm not inferring. I'm not interpreting. I'm not trying to explain what I think she meant. She literally said that President Trump was a part of the assassination of Charlie Kirk. I I don't I don't know where her brain has gone. But then again, though, she's not really one of us, is she? Oh, now you turn on her. Yeah, I turn on people that turn in this way on the greatest president of all time, especially when her husband is the son of a man that is on. I'm probably going to forget because my nose is not from me now, so I forget what Michael Farmer is on. There's a is he is I'll get it later on. If you guys know it, you can tell me in the comment section. But, her husband's father is on, basically a secret board that is basically not elected, that sits over parliament, and they are the ones that decide what the parliament is able to pass the laws that they have decided on. So, in other words, she's deep state, and I could do a whole show on her alone, but this isn't about her. This is these are one of this is one of the greatest Trump supporters that's turning on Trump, and then I see other people doing the same thing, and now we have to shut down, and then they're going off about that now. It's, "Oh, this is Trump's fault. He's the he's furloughed my cousin." Yeah, we all lost people. We all have people that have we all have family that lost jobs and got furloughed and sent home. We all have that. My brother lost his job. Okay, he'd been there for 30 plus years in the NIH. It's unfortunate. He got his package. He got his retirement early, but he wasn't ready to retire early. We all lost some. I got family members that are losing food. Yeah, I'm assuming lost food stamps this month because I know they had them, and they asked me, if they were going to lose them, and I don't know. I guess I don't know everything. I'm not Jesus, but I gave them the advice that I had available to me, and hope that it was right. But they may have lost their food stamps. But this isn't Trump's fault. Yet the world, we are trying to treat it as if it is Trump's fault. Where's the Epstein files? Well, who was in office before the last 4 years? What do you mean? Where the files at? What do you mean? Where are they? Why don't you ask the people who was there before? See, we forget that they just got here. And see now, if you're in one of those people, one of those weird people that is running around saying this is all a movie, and I look, I'm not trying to judge because for a little while I was in that same class of people. I'm not naive. My head in the sand and don't know what's going on, and I need to read this or watch this video to learn the truth. I was one of the main ones pushing that because I didn't understand Q the way I do now. I was thinking that I thought that Q was a message board for us, and then I learned that Q was really a communications channel for President Trump to speak to his generals when he was in office the first term. And they had to get around because he couldn't use regular channels because of the fact that the deep state was monitoring it. So he had to do that in plain sight using codes and secret sayings. I mean, I'm gonna say this here real quick. So I'm already here now. We don't know what it means when he says central casting. We have no clue. You remember when Peyton Manning was playing football and he would get on the line and he would say Omaha, and then he would look over to the left, Omaha, Omaha, and then look to the right, Omaha, and he would say Omaha like 12 times. Well, someone explained that to the masses, and they said, well, basically Most of the first Omahas didn't mean anything. They were just, redirection. They were just trying to get the offense off sides, get them to jump, off balance rather, get them to jump a little bit here, get off sides, um, throw them off and make them believe that it was a pass when it was a run or whatever. But the actual play wasn't called until it was down to the last 10 to 12 seconds. Why? Because it's too late in the game now, or too late on the pre-snap to call an audible. So now whatever he's calling on the last 12 seconds, that was the real play. The point is, Omaha had a different different meaning every time it was mentioned. It had a different meaning every time. It was about the inflection of the voice. It could have meant a run to the left. He might have said Omaha, Omaha twice, and that might have meant a run. Or if he said Omaha at a low voice, it might have meant run up the middle. Each time he said Omaha, the way he looked when he said it, where he pointed when he said it, the inflection of his voice when he said it, was it an uptick in the beginning or a downtick at the beginning? However he said it, whatever he did during that time, it had a different meaning. Why? Because the object is to confuse the enemy. If Omaha was a run up the middle every time he called it, he's not confusing anybody. So when Trump is saying central casting, it don't have the same meaning all the time. When he's saying this is a movie, it doesn't have the same meaning all the time. Because if it did, he's saying this stuff for 5 to 10 years, to 8 years, man, 5 to 8 years. He's saying the same thing, and he think that they won't figure out what he's saying. No, it has a different meaning every time. And the codes are for the military. It's not for us. It's for the military. Oh, he said central casting again. Yes, but this time around, it may have a different meaning than the last time. And the only ones who know what that means are the people that are involved with the operation. So you can't take, the fact that he said central casting 20 times in the last 3 weeks as proof and say, oh, see, he's confirming that they're all actors. No, that is not how this works. This is military intelligence, military communications. I call it comms. This is military strategy. And by the way, football is military strategy, by the way. Omaha, Omaha, Omaha. Omaha, Omaha. Each time I said that was a different play, different meaning. Each time Trump mentioned 17, different play, different meaning. Are you hearing me? Different orders to the military. We don't know what's going on. And my issue is there are most people that are explaining Q right now wasn't even aware of Q when Q was active. They wasn't even listening to Q. They didn't even know Q existed. As a matter of fact, I just found out about Q. Not just found out. I found out about Q 2 years after it was already out there. It was only active for 2 years, for 4 years. Well, about maybe 4 years. It started in as soon as Trump took office. Q only had a 4-year run, and then it went dark. And there has been a calm since then. And now we got all these people that came to the game after Q went dark, and now they want to go back and try to explain what happened back then without realizing that those comms back then, they were all related to a current event that was going on at that time. And whether we were aware of it or not, it wasn't the issue. It was for the military to communicate. It wasn't for us to create an Ouija board and create a new Bible where now the prophetic word of Q is prophesying the future. Do you know how crazy you look? How crazy I looked when I spoke that way? Going to elevate Q over the Bible, as if Q was able to predict the future many years in advance. Only one person can do that. His name is Jesus. No man can do that. If they could do that, if they had the ability to do that, there will be no wars here. There will be nothing. Everything will be solved before it happened. We have turned our backs on Trump. We have turned our backs on the MAGA patriots. We have become the biggest criticizers of the ones who are in front of the movement without realizing that Cash Patel is a victim. He's not lying to you when he tells you he doesn't have the information, the evidence on Epstein. He doesn't have it. Do you know why? Is anyone curious as to why he doesn't have it? Oh, I'm glad you asked. I'm going to help you understand why. For those of you out there who are attacking Trump, he has something to hide. You wasn't saying that last year. You wasn't saying that years ago. I'll tell you why. Because James Comey's daughter was the one who was prosecuting Epstein, or Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's girlfriend, of course. She was the one prosecuting him. She was the one that got the conviction on him, on her. I'm sorry, on her. And then after she won the case for the state, she had the judge seal everything. And the judge has not unsealed the documents to this day. And as a matter of fact, the judge keeps on renewing the sealing of those files. Now, I don't know if you understand this by now, but Trump follows the rule of law, because if he does anything that is outside of the rule of law, these sharks, these snakes will jump on him so fast, he will have his head in the tribunal before he can even say the word. You all used to know this. You all used to understand this. But you have become his critics without understanding that Trump is not God. He does not know everything. He makes mistakes. He loses some battles. He doesn't win everything. He has his hands tied. He cannot get access to the files. The judges sealed it. Well, remove that judge. He just got there. He's getting to that. But guess what? He's bombarded with all kinds of stuff now. This is what the Democrats do. When they want to keep him from his agenda, they keep stuff going on that Trump has to fix. Wars over here, wars over there. Now we got the economy going crazy. We got illegals flooding everywhere. He is so busy, he cannot get to everything in his first term, in the first year. Remove that judge and put one there. It takes Senate, a control of the Senate to remove judges. And this bill that he has, we just need 5 Democrats to vote yes. We can't get it to pass. It's not his fault. It's not his fault that people are losing food stamps right now. It's not his fault that people had to be sent home because the ones who are furloughed. Now I'm the ones that he retired, but those he retired, he gave them packages. He gave them they're not going home broke. They're going home with a monthly allotment of money that comes in from early retirement, a lump sum of money up front, and a retirement package. But everyone that's being furloughed now, that's a lot of that. Also is because he's using this time. All right, well, we're shut down. We're going to just get rid of all departments that are not relevant to the continuity and the flow of American business. The flow of what we need to have. What we need to keep going to keep the country afloat. But the other stuff is not on him. It's not on him, guys. Hmm. There's so many things happening right now that I really want to address, but I want to do it right. So I'm going to wait till the next episode to really get into the newsy stuff that's out there and address those things there. Also, I want to show you, um, videos and stuff and respond to those and stuff. But I want to do it right. But this first episode, guys, I just want you guys to really understand that we have got to get back on track and support our president. I mean, come on. I mean, he can't bend and yield to these guys on the left because they're trying to send money over to different departments of their organized crime syndicate, right? Like $1.2 trillion. Most of the money is going towards funding, the media, basically PBS and MSNBC, because they get subsidies from the government, because they can't make money because they only tell lies all day long, and the people have stopped watching them. They don't have the viewership anymore, but they have to stay afloat because they are an arm of the Democratic Party. That's how that's how they form their propaganda. Trump can't allow that. They also want to push more money into the ACA and keep it going, and because it's dying out right now, but they want to put more money into that to keep it going, which which would eventually raise the premiums even higher. But not only that, they're trying to expand to other areas, to other countries, so they can infuse their gender studies, which is basically a code word for saying we want to turn girls into boys and boys into girls. I mean, these are the things that Trump, is against that we were supporting, right? He turned his back on America. Why? Because he supported Israel. Well, he's supposed to support Israel because it's a part of our agreement with them. No, we don't like everything they do. But guess what? They are still allies nonetheless. Whether they ever done it for us, it does not matter. The citizens of Israel need to be protected. The government is corrupt. We know that. But the citizens have done no wrong. On top of that, I hope you realize that Palestine does not freaking exist anymore. Okay? There is no Palestinian state. There is no country named Palestine. Their territory that they call Palestine exists inside of Israel. So so Trump can't give money to Palestine legally because they don't even have an official statehood. You have to give it to Netanyahu and Israel, the Israeli government, with the caveat, and the terms in place that you have got to. That's probably the wrong word, but you have to do what I tell you to do with the money, or we pull it. This is what Trump has done. He can't legally give funding to a non-state entity because then he's like funding terrorism. You give money to Hamas for what? To fund terrorism in front of the deep state, so they can turn around and use that against him. Aha, we got you. Aiding and abetting. They cannot wait to catch Trump slipping like this. They cannot wait. So he has to give the money and the aid and the help to Israel, the government that we already have an agreement with to fund and help and to aid and protect. The only difference is he put some clauses in this agreement. Say, okay, in the money that he's giving them, said you got to do this, got to do that. You got to restore, Gaza. You got he's giving them what the requirements for getting more of that. And you guys can't see that because you I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that. I don't know what the hatred is for Israel. I do understand that those aren't the real Jews. I get that. I won't give them that either. I do understand that. I do understand that the church in America has made gods and idols out of Israel and the Jews to the point where you can't even discuss what they do wrong without being accused of being a sinner, which is outrageous to me. I do understand that the government of Israel, who are Zionists and not the real Jews, are trying to wipe out the Palestinians who were there before them, before 1948. By the way, for over 1,000 years after Jerusalem fell in 70 AD. They was there rightfully for over 1,000 years. I know all of this, guys. Hamas is still a terrorist group. Okay, he cannot fund them without being looked at and treated as if he has committed treason. The only legal state in that particular area that he can support is Israel. So he gives them the aid and the support with the guidelines of what to do with the money in order to maintain that support. You guys have to really understand that he has to work with his enemies. He has to work with people who are bad to get good to happen. You cannot sit here and judge him for doing his job as a president. And if you still agree with his agendas, I mean, he's trying to fulfill them. It may hurt right now. Prices of food are high. The gas is high. The tariffs. I'm trying to get my car fixed, guys. My car got to the accident, and I need 2 headlights. I can't get them in. The tariffs have kept it in. We've been trying to get them in for the last 3 months. But I'm supporting Trump because I know that it hurts now, but it's the cause is that much more important. There's going to be collateral damage. But we gotta get through this together, and once we get through it, once we get past the bump in the road, it'll improve. But we get nowhere if we just run from Trump now when he needs us. I'll be back with another show tomorrow. You guys be good. If you enjoy my show and you want to go deeper into conversation, head over to thekingdompatriots.com. That's where I post updates, articles, and uncensored takes on what's really happening in this country. It is also where you can go grab your official Kingdom Patriots gear, hats, shirts, hoodies, and t-shirts that make a statement without saying a word. That is thekingdompatriots.com.